All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Anubis, and I'm joined by Chris. Chris here is our lead coach, and we're going through and going to explain in today's workshop, how do we create awesome experiences? So, first off, I think we want to talk about just how our experience is created. So, quick question, Chris. When you think of tech and applications and mobile apps, what in your mind differentiates that from like just an app versus an experience? What do you think?
I think in summary, an experience is tied to a problem and how it's solved. And then, tech and apps, etc., are the way that we solve them. So an experience has to understand the full story. So it talks about the creativity, etc. And then we use tech as the tool to solve it.
That's perfect. I think this is kind of the sort of baseline for experiences. The thing that we call are the two invisible C's of experiences are connection and context. And that really is what is the context of your experience? Like, what is the actual problem that you are trying to solve? And so it's very important when you're creating an experience that you have that context as your starting point.
Yeah.
Now, sort of the graphic you'll see here explains a bit more about how experiences are created. We have a model which is called, the 9 C's, or 10 C's, because there's a 10th C not on the picture. But the 10 C's, obviously we have connection and context that we briefly talked about, saying that the whole world, we're all connected, so we all have these similar problems, whether it's through the internet or whatever else. We have this shared context that is very important for us to understand when it comes to understanding each other's problems. But the origin of any experience is always some creative origin. So there's some creativity, some creative spark that says, hey, I think this can be solved like this, right? And immediately after, the most important thing is to have communication, which is to talk with people. And I know, Chris, if you've had the experience of, having an idea, thinking it's a great solution, and then you finally talk to someone, and then you realize,
this doesn't make any sense. In fact, I think somebody must have told you, because it definitely happens. And that's why communication is important.
Exactly. And then from communication, on those occasions where you do talk with people and you do agree that this is a good solution, then you have to work together. And that means collaboration. That means defining a common vision of what this actually looks like. So for all the people on your team, you have to make sure to create an experience effectively as a team. You guys all have to have the same view as to what does that solution actually look like. What is that solution, right? Then it comes about control. And control in experiences just means what's the boundaries. So in some sense, it's about what is the scope of this experience. You can't always, an experience isn't something that kind of goes on forever in some sense. Whether we're talking about a solution that is a technological solution or just a solution to any problem, these solutions aren't what we call unbounded. Meaning that, how many, a more concrete example is, I don't know how many times, Chris, when you've worked on an app or worked on some piece of technology, you've always felt the urge to add one new feature.
For sure.
Right?
For sure. And like, as you said, everything has its boundary. So you have to be able to recognize it and then work within it.
Yep. And the most effective solutions are the ones that have a really good understanding of where to put in controls and where to put in the right and what is the scope that they're actually dealing with. Right. And so control is a very important piece. And then there comes culture. Culture is really understanding a bit of, and I'm going to say the users here, right? Which is you need to understand what's the dynamic at play, because potentially if you understand how your users actually behave, then you don't need as many controls, right? You can actually build a smaller solution for a very specific user if you understand them better. You were speaking about culture.
Yeah, so culture is very important when you're designing your experience, because you really have two users. You have the person who's purchasing, the customer, and you have the person who's using it, the end user. And you have to consider the culture of both of them. The person who buys the car may not be the person who drives it. And so keeping that in mind when you're designing your experience makes your experience way better.
Yeah, and I think that, Chris, you kind of hit on the 10th C that's not on the picture there, which is the C for customer,
right?
Which is who you're building it for.
Exactly.
But then obviously, the last two C's here are very critical, but mostly it's about competence, making sure that you understand within your team, if you're building this solution, building this problem, who has what skills, organizing that team correctly, right? And then finally community, which is, if you're finally building this solution to offer to a community of people, and that community of people is that 10th C, which is the customer, right? It's like the person who will actually pay for the solution, right?
100%.
So that is how experience actually gets created. They all usually follow this journey.
Yeah. So Anubis, when they're designing according to this journey, do they have to make a note for each one while they do their experience?
That's really not the idea. In fact, that may be a bit too much. This is just more us agreeing and describing a common framework to think about experiences. Okay. In reality, the easiest way, and the simplest way we talk about figuring out what you want to build at a hackathon is just to think about what is a broken experience, right? Think about, hey, what are things that are in my life that I'm frustrated with? Or things that, in my community, I see there being a problem, for example, right? So we have some examples here. These are examples. You're welcome to even take these and use them in the hackathon. Obviously, maybe a lot of people will do that after seeing these. So you want to make sure your solution is particularly unique, stands out, and is executed pretty well. But for example, one of the broken experience, an example of broken experience is, a bunch of cities, even in Jamaica and Kingston here, we've noticed there's quite a lot of potholes. I know people have a habit, I think, of naming potholes here. So, if you had a solution that was a bit about gamified community repair around those potholes, maybe it's about pothole tracking, maybe it's about, you have an app where people can share the names of their potholes. Yeah. That could be an interesting solution that might have a way to fix that broken experience over the long term or over the short term, depending on how people think about it, right? Yep. There's another simple one is if you thought about for personal finance, if you had a way that could automatically set some money aside when people get paid from their paycheck, for example, integrating with different tools to do that. That may be something that's the current broken experience is, hey, when you're in trouble, you can't find that money, but when you need it, if it's already saved, no issue. Same thing with a smart ER. So in a hospital, if you have to sit and wait in a line in a queue, you could literally save someone's life if you had a better queuing system in the hospital. So that's an example of a broken experience. If you're sitting in the emergency room and you're waiting for 3 hours, right? So solution there is possibly.
No, I think that's a big one because it shows that what you're describing are not just tech solutions. You're actually affecting real life with whatever you build.
I think that's what's important. But again, we're here describing quite large and big problems, but no problem is too small, right? So even if it's something as simple as hey, I just don't like what Netflix recommends to me,
right?
And I just want to get better movie recommendations, and I just have a way better solution on how that can be shown to me. Perfectly valid broken experience to find a solution for.
That's beautiful.
So, the final question is, if you're working on building these awesome experiences, like what makes the experience awesome, right? What's the foundation of what's an awesome experience? So we have this acronym that we use, which is called SPAIN, but it stands for stability, performance, availability, integrity, and novelty. So
you have to walk us through this.
Yeah, I know. So stability, the question is, Chris, when you hear the word stability, what does that mean to you? How do you feel about it?
I mean, just like in real life, stability means you can depend on it. Right.
Exactly. So when you talk about a stable application, is this an application that's consistent? Is it predictable? And can I depend on it? Meaning, is it going to, when I need it most, work? Yeah. You don't want it to be that, when you need your voice recording app the most, and you press the tap button to record, it throws an error and says, sorry, I can't record right now.
Yeah, no. At the very moment that you need it.
Exactly.
I can't.
So stability is all about thinking through what are all the different issues and problems that users can run into, and then writing cases to handle those. Okay. And in such a way that it always is dependable for the user.
That makes sense.
Right. Then next thing is performance. So performance in an application, it's really about how fast it is. And this is all about a real-time experience hackathon. So performance is definitely something that the judges will be looking at when it comes to evaluation of these.
Is performance only about like how quickly it loads though?
No, so it's really, performance is about tons of different aspects of the application. In fact, there's a lot of people who have a lot of experience in performance will tell you that sometimes to make things performant, all you need to do is cache things. Meaning that you really don't need things to load quickly the first time, but it's really about when the user uses it most of the time. Yeah. Do things load quickly. And for those who are not familiar with the term caching just means that when you're loading data to show to the user, if I'm loading a screen, for example, I save whatever I've loaded so that next time I don't need to show a loading screen again.
Right? That makes sense.
So that's the idea. It's really the real way we like to think about performance is in the best cases is about things being real time. But maybe sometimes the most performant solution, or the solution that is the most performant for users, is often not about doing things faster. It's really about doing less. So really that simplicity oftentimes is what brings performance. Then we have availability. So availability really is about, is your solution or experience, is it available for your users? Right? Is it always online? Can it be trusted that if the judges try and want to use your app, let's say it's a web application and you put it on a URL, when they go to that URL, is it going to load for them?
So if I get you, the difference between stability and availability is like, stability is if I click the button 100 times, I'm expecting it to work each time. Like I can depend on it. Availability is the button there or the app there in the first place.
That's one way to think about it. I think there's another way to think about the difference between stability and availability, which is stability. The biggest way to think about it is the application doing what I expect? Right. Availability is the application that available for me to expect anything from it in the first place.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Well said.
Now, the next thing we talk about is integrity. Integrity is all about data integrity. So this means that if users are using your app and they've put information into your app, whether it's their name, their email, whatever it is that they've put in, is that data actually saved? Meaning that is it the same? Is it consistent? Or is there a chance that if something goes wrong in the application, if there's a bug or if there's an error, are they going to lose data? Right? Because that's very important for users. They don't want to feel like they used your application
and it's just gone.
Everything they did is gone. If I have a notes app and a few days later, all my notes are gone, that's not a good experience. Definitely not an 100%. Awesome experience, right? And then the final thing we're looking at is novelty, which is there something unique or fun or interesting about your experience, what you're building?
So this is where this is where the creativity can really
shine. Yes.
Okay.
And but again, what I want to keep very clear is that this list is in the order of importance.
Right.
So stability is the most important, then performance, then availability, then data integrity, and then finally novelty. And novelty being the last thing is a very key part of this. That